Good morning, everyone. Today is July 15, 2025. It's 9 a.m. I'm calling the meeting to order. Okay, approval of the minutes for Tuesday, June 7, 2025. Do I have a motion? Only time for me.
All motion, I wasn't there, but,
Well,
oh, I'm sorry.
if you recommend it, you can go ahead.
Okay. I did read the minutes.
Okay, fantastic. So we have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Discussion?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
And we won't vote now? I heard something about, do we have any discussion?
No, you're fine. No, I
Okay.
said, have a second, any discussion, so.
Okay.
No, okay,
Aye.
has been moved to
Okay.
approve. All right, great, thank you. All right, public comment, anybody on Zoom? No, okay, Steve? No, yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Steve Wakefield, about 151, Cannon Beach, Oregon. I understand today is Doug's last day on the committee after 8 years. And having served with Doug for 4 years, I just want to say it was a real pleasure. I feel like Doug was instrumental in so many good decisions. And his knowledge, his education, his professionalism he brought to this committee is paramount. And I just want to say it's a pleasure to know Doug personally and to have worked with him for 4 years. And I hope that he serves on a different committee, commission, council in the future, because we need people like Doug. And thank you very much, Doug. I appreciate it.
You is Steve, thank you very much.
Go to the rule
What's that?
is that, when you recognize somebody like that, then you gotta work with that person to find a replacement.
Doug.
I don't think that's legal stretches.
And did you know that you can just sit out 1 year and come back?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll see, we're joking around that every year that goes by, you're glad you're on top of the dirt. If I'm still on top of the dirt, you might consider that.
All right, well, thank you, Steve. All right, action items.
Well, my first action item is to piggyback off of that and to present Doug with his certificate and his public works coin.
Yeah, let's make it.
Our
swag.
For your term here. Yeah, go look at the bottom of that. I guess I gotta get some signatures.
I can pretend you're Got the name.
But you got the
And
special part.
your coin, so I'm gonna give this to Sherry and
Okay.
get Bruce's signature, my deepest apologies, and I'll sign mine right now.
Details.
I really appreciate that when I worked for the Corps of Engineers for practically the whole 30 years, they have what's called the commander's coin. It was given to you by the commander for, good service.
Yeah.
And so coins mean a big deal to me.
Yeah.
Actually, compared to what the Army gave out, this
In
is.
military, law enforcement, fire, they call it a challenge coin, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
for us, we call it an appreciation coin.
right, there's a certain way you're supposed to, I didn't catch on very well, there's a certain way you're supposed to.
So there you go.
Oh, she's gonna
Yeah,
teach
that's
me
right.
again,
You
because I
got-
always screw it up when I was
You
working.
gotta take it out, of its holder. Hang on, let's see if I can get this thing out of here.
There's a technique, it's a military technique that I can never, you never say Doug, that's not right, Doug, when they try to give you the coin.
There you go. Okay,
All right,
You
there we
ready?
go, yeah, well, you have to.
put it in there
Yeah,
and you shake hands.
yeah,
Like this, okay, and you say, thank you for your service and all your goodness and blah, blah, blah.
yeah, sure.
And you go, there you go.
See, everybody was saying that.
All right, there you go, pal.
Thank you.
And I'll get your certificate before you take off. We'll go down to City Hall and get Bruce's.
Well, I'm going down to the yard to breathe, so I go down there and back.
Okay, that's right.
Thanks.
So
Karen.
seriously, Doug, thank you for, first of all, for signing up for the committee, because it gets harder and harder to find people to come and like Scott used to say, put the gloves on and get in the game.
Yeah, well, it's been
And,
quite the adventure, I'll say a thing or two at the end.
for everyone.
Good either way.
I am personally grateful. I know our community and our staff is. I very much appreciated the passionate collaboration that we had during the, the leak detect or the leak forgiveness discussion. You brought a lot of good points to
Thank
the
you.
table. And I don't know if that's a dead deal or if that'll be service at some point. And so you just have to come back and, join the stuff.
Here he goes again, yeah.
It seems like everything takes full circle here, but I really did appreciate as a committee, how you guys worked through that. And, we had some very, different viewpoints.
Right,
So that's one of the things I continue to say I appreciate about this committee, is that you guys play nice together.
yeah,
And, we accomplish epic things together, and I really appreciate that.
and we're always kind of be able to keep it right here. You can kind of be brain dead, and then you can have a lot of energy, and then you can have acrimony. We kept it at the kind of, I think, energy level, right?
Yeah.
That was good, I agree, yeah.
Like 240 degrees.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen, thank you, everybody.
You tell that to
And
me.
thank you for, I really like this, thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome.
Okay, so, first, okay.
Yeah.
He tried to buy mine a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
That's right.
You had it up on eBay, so.
Yeah, so, with that, I will update you on, things that we're working on and where we are, with the projects. For any of you that listened to the Coffee of the Counselor, I updated them on the, water resiliency project phase 2, which is the line replacement from the springs all the way down to the public works yard. We're in the very final phase of that right now. They're open trenching a section that we were hoping to be able to, bore, drill, the trenchless, and that we had to make that modification. It hasn't caused a significant delay in the project or cost for that matter. It was just a matter of change in the approach, and it was in the spirit of just protecting the trees. And so, they're in the midst of that now. Once they finish that, which should probably be the second week of, August, then they will just basically back themselves out of the ECMR by restoring the road, graveling it, rolling it, and all such, and then the ECMR will be back open. So we're hoping somewhere around that third week of August, possibly last week, but, we're ahead of schedule in the sense of what the, contract with the schedule called for. September was the final completion. But they've done a great job, so I think that it's possible, we'll be over before August is over. Right now, people continue to go up there, the contractors and code enforcement, the PD has assisted us in trying to emphasize to the public how dangerous it is, especially when we're open trenching. Those trenches are deep. People, their pets can accidentally find themselves in that trench, and so that's why we've asked people to please stay out. Even when the crews aren't working, we expect those signs to be honored, because after hours would be even worse if somebody was up there and got injured. They maybe hours before they even realizes something's happened. So, that's important to note. Phase 3, the tank site. I will post some pictures on our Facebook page so you guys can see. They are, digging the site where the tank is gonna be built. It was amazing. They had the geo guys up there yesterday just doing their final assessment of the soils and the compaction level and where the piers are gonna go down to the base of the tank. And, knock on wood, everything is going great. If you can see the size of some of the equipment going up there, it makes you shudder. If many of you have been up that road, and it's a pretty narrow gravel road. The contractor really prepped that road really well, and they widened it just a little bit because there's a culvert there that could not be modified or changed. And so they didn't want something to roll over the top of that culvert. And but these guys have navigated it with ease. It's amazing. It's like watching a good golfer on the golf course. They make it look so easy. You know it's not, pretty cool video. There was a huge, seemed like the size of this room, chipper that they used to get all the tree roots ground up and to create, mulch and put it down in some of the areas where people are gonna be staked, equipment in the park. And it was driverless. And so the guy was holding a remote, like the size of my phone. And he was driving this thing down that road from the tank site through the public works yard. For all of the trucks and everything are parked. and he just navigated it, just was out, and he had to go out the chain link fence. Make a sharp turn on Bell Creek Road. This guy is amazing. So it just shows the skill set of everybody that's touching the project. It was kind of fun to watch. Really makes you have a lot of pride in the level of quality of contractors that have been awarded the job. And, so I'm anxious for the tank, process, the build to actually start. I think that's gonna be another, amazing facet of this project. So we'll post pictures because like I say, it's dangerous. We can't even go up there most of the time. And, so I'll post pictures so people can kind of see what's going on. Haystack, let me back up 1 minute. The, remaining leg of the water resiliency project, as you guys know, is phase 3A, which is our transmission backbone along the highway. Bruce talked to council last Tuesday, just before 11 o'clock when the meeting ended, about, our last option for funding, through Business Oregon. The terms are different than all the other loans we've been able to secure so far. We're at 1%, 30 years. This funding comes from a special public works fund, and it's at 4.5% to 5% interest, which doesn't feel very good compared to what we had before, and no principal forgiveness. But based on, the current situation with various types of funding, I think that's about all we've got left. So I'm in the process of filling out the paperwork, but I can't actually send it until council gives us a nod. I think Bruce is gonna broach the subject again tonight at good of the order. It's not on the agenda, but it's something we have to make a decision. The minute I got the invite to submit an application for that funding, a clock starts. And I have less than 45 days to turn that application around. And when all is said and done, it's between 80 and 85 pages. That is application and attachments that you have to put with the application. And so it takes a lot of time. So I'm burning some weekends to try to get that done and ready. So if they say yes, I can get it in the line. And if they say no, we don't go forward. The bottom line is we need funding for that leg of the project. It's 7.3 million. We have a path of which to pay that back if we were to pursue that funding, and Tim talked to council about that. So I'm hopeful that we'll get some traction on that. I would love to see us be able to complete this project. So that's the status of that. Haystack water line loop, we are complete with phase 1. Phase 2 will be the water line replacement on East Chinook and to add a hydrant, and that project's identified in the master plan. As you know, the first phase of it was being able to get the easement and to bring the water line from the west side of the highway to the east side to be able to loop that system. And then the last leg of it was to replace the water line on East Chinook, which needs to be upgraded to 6-inch in order to add a hydrant there. So we will be getting cost estimates on that, see if we have enough in this year's approved budget, or we have to push it to next year. So we're well on our way to completing Haystack. Colorado vehicle ramp, as you guys know, we presented our proposed draft option to council. They gave us an informal nod to continue to move forward with that option. So we're gonna engineer that. We'll be working with OPRD State Parks to amend our current easement where our ADA ramp now exists and how it will look with the new design. And so that is in the works. The budget, if you guys noticed, has a new bus stop approved in it. There's some local residents that are very thrilled about that. There will be across from the old school in the little park there. And so the contractor that is currently repairing most of our bus stops needed repair based on sidewalk and things. So he is going to construct the new one. And so we won't lose any momentum. My goal is to have that done before the winter time, if possible. Hopefully the contractor will be able to to do that, so you see one more bus stop. And then whatever they decide with the old school site, it'd be a nice location for someone to be able to catch the bus and or for the bus to, drop them off there, so. We are also in the middle of public works interviews. We have 2 vacancies on our crew. One is a result of a retirement that we had from the water crew, Daniel Williams retired. And the other one is additional head count that, council gave us for the wastewater, crew. We are not able to continue to maintain the plant the way we have with the 2 basins without additional resources, so. As you know, we work really hard to start blending the water and wastewater teams where they can be more faceted, helping each other out, sharing on-call responsibilities. A lot of the telemetry that they work with, the SCADA and whatnot is the same between the 2 teams. And, functions within the treatment plants are similar. So it's not a big stretch for them to get there, but there is still some training so that when alarms go off, the crews understand what the alarm is telling them, what the failure is or what the problem is. So we're in the midst of that now. So we're doing the interviews with both of those, vacancies, being considered for all candidates and in placing the people where their skill sets are most valuable, so. So that's the state of the union of works. Any questions about projects I haven't mentioned? Okay. Just for me.
All right. We do, well, we've already done all the information items unless somebody else has anything else.
Right, are we at good of the order yet?
You say, are actually going to go to the order, right? Yeah.
Okay, so. I won't take up too much time, but sort of as a conclusion here, first of all, as far as the public works leadership, when I first came on board, it was a whole different regime and it changed, and it's so much changed to a more lean forward, find some money, fill out applications, get loans, get grants, lean forward, and in the beginning, I would look through those big binders, and I always go to the section about where you go to the state to get money and everything. I just couldn't seem to get any attention. Then you came on board, Trevor moved up, and bam, all of a sudden, it's like the effort was made, and it starts happening. So that's the biggest change I saw, but it's huge, and like you said, 80 pages per application. Somebody's doing all that work, and I know who it is, so that's huge, and I appreciate what you guys have done. And then I got to thinking, just as sort of on my way out here, you know, having run around this place as a little kid and going way back, earliest memories were probably about late 50s or so. Sleepy little town, nobody's here after Labor Day, and seeing now that, you know, it's busy year round, et cetera, is you gotta think, well, what is it that makes Cannon Beach special? If you look at the surveys, it'll frequently make the list of not just the best beaches in the United States, but in the world. So it's like, well, you know, I couldn't put my finger on it because, let's face it, the weather's lousy most of the year. The ocean is ice cold all the time. So why would it ever even make the list? And I just thought of 2 things, and I'll go through them perfect, that kind of told me maybe the why. The first one has really to do with public works. It was a year or 2 ago that Daniel took us up to the springs, the kind of the mystical springs. You hear about it, but
Yeah.
going up to see it. And we just got the Cannon Beach water quality report. It says Cannon Beach water source is primarily supplied by springs, remotely located in a 1,020 acre forest preserve owned by the city of Cannon Beach, approximately 1 mile east of town. This watershed remains in its natural state, and public access is limited and controlled. The natural quality of the spring is such that it does not require any treatment other than disinfection due to its consistent clarity and purity. Spring water quality is far superior to water withdrawn from surface sources such as rivers and lakes. So anyway, we went up there with Daniel. I'm sure you guys have been there a bunch. I've only been there once. You go up the road there, over there, I guess. And you climb and you climb and you climb, and you go through this, you finally get up to really super old growth. Probably Douglas, you feel like you're in some sort of magical kingdom. It just changes, you know, you can't even see the sun really, these huge trees. And you go over to this little place that's kind of a cistern, and it's almost a religious experience. And so there it is, there's the spring. I said, okay, that probably doesn't exist anyplace else. So there's one thing, you know, you have a water source for this town that comes magically up out of the ground in this magical looking forest, and it's so pure, you basically don't need a treatment. That's very, very, very unique. But the other thing is, and what really dawned on me is the journey of Lewis and Clark. You know, these guys came all the way across the country, saw unimaginable new landscapes and things that they'd never seen all the way from the East Coast. So just a little bit from the synopsis of Lewis and Clark Journal. Most of you know the story, but if you really let it sink in, you know, basically you know the story. It was a day or two after Christmas in 1805. The captains were informed by some Indians that a whale had died on a beach near a Tillamook village southwest of the fort. Right? Okay. Okay. It was finally Clark who on 6 January 1806 left with 12 men in 2 canoes out of Young's Bay up the comparatively placid Skippawn River, then by land to the Saltmakers camp and over Tillamook Head. So coming this way. On this side, on his trip to Cape Disappointment from Station Camp in November 1805, William Clark observed a high point of mountain about 30 miles to the southwest. So he's looking at Tillamook Head basically. Lewis took the liberty of naming it Clark's Mountain and Point of View. Eventually it was called Tillamook Head after the Indians who lived nearby. On 7 January 1806, after passing the Salt Works, which would probably be seaside, and continuing along the round slippery stones under a high hill, that's probably the south side of Seaside, there's those rocks, right? Clark related, my guide made a sudden halt, I'm not sure what that is, pointed at the top of the mountain and uttered the word Hey Shack, which means bad, and made signs that we must pass over that mountain. I hesitated a moment and viewed this eminence mountain, the top of which was obscured by clouds, and the ascent appeared to be almost perpendicular. After 2 hours of labor and fatigue, and at one point drawing themselves up by the bushes and roots, they reached the summit of Bald Mountain, Tillamook Head, climbed over the 1,136-foot headland. Clark paused at a scenic viewpoint some 600 precipice feet above the surf. Okay, so now he's looking around, he looks this way, he's up on base plate, Ecola Park, and he's looking down. You come clear across the United States, they've seen everything, they've just spent the winter up here, probably pretty depressed from all the rain. He gets to the top after all of this long journey, he says, from this point, I beheld the grandest and most pleasing prospects in which my eyes have ever surveyed. So that was it. To me, to him, that was the culmination of all he'd seen, is the view from Tillamook Head, looking this way. He never seen anything that great in all the journey. So that's it, right? That's what makes it special. So.
Pretty cool. Yeah, so you know that hill and how straight up it was, that's the way we felt taking on the master plans and videos.
Yeah.
And if you guys are looking out here at the pickleballers, remember the discussion about changing our tennis courts to the multi-use courts and how passionate that is. But we made the hill, you know?
Yep.
Just recently, our former public works director came in town, right, just a brief stay. His daughter was graduating from college and he reached out and said, hey, he's gonna be around one. I want to stop at the Beach. I said, oh, come on, have I got some stuff to show you?
Yeah.
And I see 2.5 days of him being here to show him everything he had done. And he said, my God, I feel the pride and I'm not even part of the team anymore. I said, oh, you are. I mean, he worked so hard to tee a lot of this stuff up, and it was up to us to just run it through the goalpost. And this committee helped us, and our former Public Works Committee Chair will be in town in August. And, I've already put her agenda together.
Carolyn, right?
So, yeah, it'd be fun. for her to get more deep. Yeah.
On some of that, I'd love to see some of the things
Yeah.
from your perspective.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And so, it's been kind of fun just to keep them in the loop and send them pictures of what the committee and the staff and the community has accomplished together. And, I really think timing is everything, and just like that story, you know, they come up on a hill, they look down, it's like, whoa. We had a funding cap of which to get these things done, and it was kind of a now or never. And I'm so glad we seized it, I'm so glad the leadership, supported that. Because there's many other cities that call myself and our emergency manager on a regular basis and say, how did you guys get where you are? But we're trying to get our plans together, and it's all timing and it's all the willingness of everybody to jump on board and say, yeah, we're gonna go after that. And so, help me continue that passion to get that back on Highway 4. We really need to finish this project for our community, so I feel like we're on the Lewis and Clark Trail. So just because you're not on the committee, doesn't mean you guys can't be voices of former members and say, this, we need to finish this.
Yeah,
So,
and I'm confident you will.
thank you.
It's just like when Clark looked up the mountain and said, I don't know if we can do this. I know you can. I know you can.
That's great story you reminded us of, and just so much, so appropriate for where we are. So, thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Doug.
welcome.
We will miss you. You will be hard, yeah.
No, you know, I'll be down as much as I can along with my wife and. But, and so we kind of split our lives here and our lives back in Portland, so, you think when you retire, you're gonna get more time to. I don't know, just kind of sit on the porch, but we just haven't found that spot yet. We're getting there.
City and come to the E.
Yes, right. Well, it's gonna be supposedly about 100 degrees in Portland today, so this is nice. Another thing that makes it special, right?
Yes.
Anything else for the good of the order? No, okay, I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll so move.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Mr.